Think about it. There'll be an extra fee for that.
But none of them believed me.
The desert's a tough adversary, but at least it...
Olá? Eu acho que tá bom.
is entirely up to you.
Olá? Eu acho que tá bom. Olá? Eu acho que tá bom.
We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss.
Bom, amigos,
My people are used to the desert.
sejam bem-vindos aí a mais uma live aqui do Genshin Impact. Eu farei aqui o evento aqui, Rosas e Pistolas. Aqui os prêmios aqui, uma espadona, enfeite para casa, uma receita e vários itens. Eu já fiz o teste dos personagens. Eu ainda não vim nessa área aqui. Ainda não vim nessa área. Então vamos até lá. E mais uma vez aí peço aí que inscreva-se no meu canal, dê um like ou um dislike, comentem, compartilhem e ative o sino para receber notificações, isso ajuda bastante. Aqui estamos chegando ao final desse ano. Aqui espero ainda ver se eu consigo os meus inscritos nesse ano. Até uma piada, né? Eu vou desligar aqui meu áudio aqui, como aqui é basicamente uma história aqui do evento, desse evento. Eu vou desligar o áudio, mas para não atrapalhar o diálogo dos personagens. Eu terei pouca coisa para falar mesmo, isso atrapalha. Então, qualquer coisa você pode comentar aí no chat que eu respondo. Então, vamos começar aqui. Eu vou desligar aqui o áudio.
Seriously? But, Mr. Morris, I don't understand, sir. How can you only be telling me this now?
I'm afraid that there's nothing really I can do. I'm really facing a crisis. My hands are tied.
But what about my film?
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to come up with something on your own. Take it from me. Sometimes you just have to let things go. Same goes for this film festival.
Oh,
Hey, isn't that Xavier? So he's back in Fontaine now. Xavier!
oh, why, if it isn't the dear Traveler and Paimon. I really didn't expect to bump into you here at this time. Well, I was doing just fine until I received some terrible news just now. The investor I was working with for my upcoming film has fallen upon some hard times and is no longer able to provide the promised amount of funds.
Can't you just find a different investor?
Unfortunately, that's not how it works. We had signed an agreement specific to the Fontanalia Film Festival, stipulating that I cannot work with any other investors until the festival is finished.
The Fontanalia Film Festival? What's that?
Oh, is this your first time participating in Fontaine's Fontanalia Film Festival? Then allow me to fill you in. The Fontanalia Festival was established to commemorate the legendary Loch Knights, who went on a quest to search for the Oceanids and eventually welcomed the Hydro-Arcangelo. The holiday is deeply connected to the founding of Fontaine, as well as its unique laws and trials. It's one of the most important festivals for this nation.
But what's with that weird expression on your face? It's like you're trying really hard to remember something.
Ah, I was just trying to recall the exact description from the books, in order to avoid any unnecessary arguments over semantics. I usually try to recite things straight from the source.
Well, either way, Paimon thinks she gets it now. It's just like the Windbloom Festival in Mondstadt, and the Lantern Rite in Lille.
Yes, those are festivals of a similar variety. Who doesn't like a good festival? And just like those of other nations, Fontaine will hold a plethora of events around this time each year. To commemorate the Loch Knights, people will imitate them by putting on special costumes, raising golden cups, and going door to door asking for pure water. But a few years ago, Lady Farina started to find the whole idea a little drab, and so decided to change the part about pure water to sweets.
That really doesn't surprise Paimon at all.
The whole thing seems more akin to a carnival now, and it's quite popular among the kids. Every year you can hear a bunch of them saying, "Trial or treat."
That's pretty fun. But how does that connect back?
Ah, yes, it appears I've strayed off topic. The Fontanalia Film Festival is an event proposed by the Fontaine Film Association this year. Now that during this time, people may submit films to be evaluated, and the entry with the highest score will be given the Farina Award by the association.
The what award?
The Farina Award. You know, after the Hydro-Archon. They coined it while Lady Farina was still in power, but even though things have changed, no one has made any motion to update the name. Perhaps everyone still thinks of it as a pretty appropriate name. Even though she isn't the Hydro-Archon any longer, Lady Farina is still Fontaine's superstar. Anyone with eyes can see the way she shines on the stage.
Huh. Alright. Guess the name does work pretty well when you put it that way.
Oh, but who would have guessed there'd be an issue with the funding? How will I ever explain this to Miss Chiori? Not to say all the other actors who traveled all the way here from Inazuma.
Chiori? Sounds familiar. Where have we heard that name before?
Yes, that's her. I asked her to oversee the event's art direction, including the design of the actors' costumes and appearances.
Oh, Paimon remembers now! Navia said that her clothes were designed by Chiori, and Kirara's outfit too!
How to describe her? Well, she tends to be pretty direct and can be very forceful when it comes to dealing with people. The fashion world in Fontaine has dubbed her the Thundering Seamstress. Her remarkable designs have led many Fontanians to become very interested in Inazuma. Anyway, Chiori is acquainted with all the actors I've invited from Inazuma. Without her help, I don't think I would have been able to get such an international cast for the film. She really is a kind soul.
Who are the actors from Inazuma? Do we know them?
Why don't the two of you accompany me to the Aquabus station to welcome them? Judging from the time, the Aquabus should be arriving shortly. Chiori will be waiting to meet me there as well.
Opa. Bom, amigos, voltei aqui e ativou aqui as missões aqui do evento, ó. Aqui são as missões do evento. Vamos dar aqui uma pequena olhada aqui. Aqui é para ativar as missões, eu não vou ativar nenhuma agora. Deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui. Ah, tá dizendo que está ocupada ali por alguma coisa, o Genshin tem esse problema. E aqui são os prêmios aqui, ó. Tem aqui essa espadona aqui. Até que é bem boa essa espadona. É uma arma boa, talvez seja para nave, né? Caso não consiga a arma dela lá. Aumenta ataque, mas não só isso, as menuzinhas da vila. Aumenta a recarga. Bom, não vou ler muito. Aqui tem outros prêmios aqui, vários prêmios que ajudam a evolução do personagem. Aí temos aqui a missão. Aqui são as missões que eu já tinha mostrado. Em filme de Fontinália. E aqui deve ser a história aqui do evento, é isso? Daqui a 2 dias. Até aqui já está liberada, aqui até a parte 3. Então vamos fazer essa daqui. Ah, sim, o lugar da missão está ocupado por outra missão. Verifique os detalhes. Que missão é que está ocupando aqui? Deixa eu ver aqui. Está ocupado aqui por essa missão aqui. Vá ao café. Eu tenho que fazer essa missão aqui. Tem nada a ver. Chega lá, é uma missãozinha à toa que não afeta em nada essa outra. Mas vamos lá, né? Vamos fazer aqui essa missão. Genshin tem essas frescuras. Aqui, ó, Corte de Fontane. Ah, parei um momento aqui. Deixa eu ver que estão me chamando ali.
The desert's a tough adversary, but at least it doesn't hide anything. What you see is what you get, and whether you take on the challenge is entirely up to you. My people are used to the desert life, but still, I hope that one day they'll be able to find an oasis of their own and leave the sandstorms behind for a better life. The desert's a tough adversary, but at least it doesn't hide anything. What you see is what you get, and whether you take on the challenge is entirely up to you.
Bom, voltei aqui, é um mal da gravação online, ao vivo, que sempre aparece alguma coisa para atrapalhar. Então, para continuar aqui o evento, eu tenho que fazer essa missão aqui, a Corte de Fontaine Perigosa. Então, vamos fazer aqui a Corte de Fontaine Perigosa. Está bem aqui. Deixa eu dar mais uma olhada aqui, por aí. É essa mesmo? Você encontra... É essa daqui mesmo, então vamos lá. Bom, eu vou mais uma vez aqui desligar aqui meu áudio. E peço também mais uma vez aí que inscreva-se no meu canal, dê um like ou dislike, comente, compartilhe, ative o sino para receber as notificações. E qualquer coisa, comentem aí no chat que eu respondo. Bom, essa foi a missão, foi bem rápida, né? A corte de Fontaine Perigosa. Foi bem rápida a missão, acabou. E mais uma vez peço aí que inscreva-se no meu canal, dê um like ou dislike, comente, compartilhe e ative o sino para receber notificações, isso ajuda bastante. Bom, vamos voltar aqui para o evento, ver se continua aqui o evento. Aqui, Rosas e Pistolas. Vamos aqui, filme Fontinalia. Vamos ver se continua aqui ou se eu tenho que fazer outra missão. Bom, vai continuar aqui. Não vou precisar fazer outra missão. Eu tenho que me teletransportar para onde? Para cá, né? Ah, vou vir para cá. Bom, e mais um. Vou ligar aqui meu áudio aí. Qualquer coisa vocês podem comentar aí no chat. Não esqueçam, se você não for um inscrito, inscreva-se no meu canal, deixa um like aí. Se não gostou, deixa um dislike. Compartilhe, ative o sino para receber as notificações. E é isso. Qualquer coisa, comente aí no chat e eu vou continuar aqui o evento. Só vou desligar aqui meu áudio.
Miss Chiori?
Your talk with the investor sure went fast. The Aqua bus hasn't even arrived yet. Oh? And who are they?
Allow me to introduce you. This is the Traveler and Paimon.
Pleased to meet you.
Likewise! We've heard the owner of Chioriya Boutique is a skilled seamstress, so it's a real pleasure to finally meet you in person.
Why, thank you. I strove to create an outfit that matched her high social station as the demoiselle. So tell me, what happened? I can tell the conversation didn't go quite as expected.
Well, it's like this.
Ugh.
I know, Chiori, you don't have to say it. You did remind me that this investor was a little bit sketchy.
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
But how could I pass it up? He offered me twice as much as the others.
And therein lies the problem.
Yes, but just put yourself in my shoes. After obtaining such an excellent script, it's only natural that I would want to make the most of the film. The budgets that the others had proposed were nowhere near enough. It's difficult to find someone willing to front such a large amount of mora, so...
Don't be sad, Xavier. We might be able to help scrounge up some more together for you.
Oh, thank you, Paimon. That means a lot to me. But the cost of the film is staggering. I'm afraid that any mora we can scrounge together in a short amount of time won't even be able to cover the actors' fees.
We need to move on. What's happened has already happened, and there's no changing it. but now's not the time to give up.
What? You're saying that you have a plan?
No, that's not what I mean. I'm simply saying I wouldn't give up just yet. The actors I recommended aren't just after Mora after all. Really? Then where do you live?
We Malazines live in Marcy Village. The only way to enter is from underwater.
Oh, you must be pretty tired after work every day, right? I mean, you have to swim all that way just to go home.
We are so thoughtful. But some Malazines choose to live in the Court of Fontaine because it's so much more convenient.
This is our stop.
Oh, we've arrived, but I haven't even finished chatting with Abel yet.
I also enjoyed Aval's introductions to Fontaine along the way. Everything you described was so clear and detailed that we can't help but want to hear more.
Thank you so much. I'm usually working here on this aqua bus, so I hope I'll have the chance to see you again. There are still many more places I'd like to introduce to you.
Welcome to the Court of Fontaine.
Chiori, you sure have changed a lot. This is the first time we've seen you since you left Inazuma.
I haven't realized it's been so long. I was in such a rush when I left that I didn't even get to say goodbye.
Thank you for extending the invitation, Mr. Xavier. I'm looking forward to a fruitful trip here in Fontaine.
It's an honor to have the head of the Kamisato clan visit us.
So they're who you meant when you said you had actors coming from Inazuma?
Oh? It's the Traveler and Paimon.
Wow, what a coincidence! Ayaka and I were just talking about you on the way here. Are you also here for the film?
We just ran into Xavier earlier and came over with him.
But I'm not an actress. Sir Kamisato and Lady Ayaka are the real actors here. I'm just tagging along with Ayaka to have a good time together.
About that, I mean, how was I supposed to contact you when I was making preparations for the film? I figured you were probably busy, and I didn't want to disturb you. So I could only keep you in the back of my mind while I sought other actors to play the lead roles in the film.
I had been thinking about a surprise reunion with you during our trip here, but you still managed to surprise me first.
Oh, so you all know each other already! My, what a coincidence! What are the chances everyone could be brought together here like this? Why don't we go to Hotel de Boer and catch up over a meal? I've already made a reservation.
Huh? Did you reserve 2 spots for us too?
Yes, of course, of course. I'll be sure to tell the boss to serve a few more delicious dishes just to make sure there'll be enough food.
Very well. Then please, kindly lead the way, Mr. Xavier.
Wow, the buildings in Fontaine are so tall. Just look at how big they are.
And there's the fountain that Aval mentioned earlier. It really is a magnificent sight.
And look at that huge spinning sphere. Where does it get its power? Wait a sec! Could it be one of those clockwork mecha we've heard so much about? So this is what food from Fontaine is like. It sure is different from what we have in Inazuma. How should I describe it? It seems like you have to go through a lot more steps to make them. And the flavor has many layers too.
Yes. When I first went to Inazuma, I actually thought the food there tasted a little too bland. It took some time for me to get used to it.
Let's get back to the purpose of this trip for a moment, shall we? How have preparations for the film been coming along, Mr. Xavier?
Well, I've already assembled most of the film crew, a lighting specialist, a prop manager, and a costume designer. I've also bought the copyrights from the novel's author.
Oh, it's called The Two Musketeers, right? I read the script you sent me on the way here. The story is pretty good.
Originally, I was planning to start filming as soon as Sir Kamisato and Lady Ayaka arrived in Fontaine, but I'm afraid I've run into a bit of a problem.
Oh? What is it?
It has to do with the film's investor, Mr. Morris. He suddenly informed me this morning that he's encountered some financial trouble and will be unable to release to me the amount of funding agreed upon.
It's said that Fontaine's legal system is well developed. If he has violated the contract, then can't you simply take him to court over the matter?
Well, I'm still more concerned about filming. Even if I were to take him to court, I'm afraid it would take months before the case could even be heard.
Then, is there a way we could raise funds ourselves to solve the problem?
I've considered that option too, but unfortunately, it's difficult to gather such a large amount of mora on such short notice. Besides, we have to consider the film festival's submission deadline.
Mr. Xavier, if Ayaka and I were willing to perform for free, would that resolve the problem you are currently facing?
What? No, out of the question. To have you come all this way just to act for free? Oh, no, that won't do.
There's no need to worry, Mr. Xavier. My brother and I had actually intended to work for free after receiving your invitation. Inazuma has only recently reopened its borders, and needs to strengthen its relations and cultural ties with other nations. We didn't have many collaboration projects with Fontaine in the past, so we hoped this trip would serve as a good start for the future.
Indeed. You could say that's the real reason why the Yashiro Commission agreed to come to Fontaine.
I understand, but having you two act for free just doesn't seem right.
Not at all. While we're officially here this film will serve as proof if you still don't feel comfortable with this arrangement.
All right. I'll do as you say. Thank you so much.
Come on now, no need to go that far. I'll also help you out as a brand sponsor.
Me too! Even though I didn't bring much more to spend on this trip, it's still better than nothing.
You are too kind, all of you. I really don't know how...
Ew. Alright, enough about that. So, instead of Mora...
Oh, but how can we help?
Alright, pull yourself together, Xavier. Tell us if there are still any open positions left.
All right. Let me think. We still need a camera operator. I originally wanted to personally serve as director, but I've been too busy working as the producer. So the position...
Paimon knows what the director and the logistics support person do, but what's a clapper loader?
The clapper loader is responsible for using the clapper board to record and
A clapper board?
Yes, that's right. Are you interested in that job?
For sure! Paimon's always wanted to try that!
Alright, then you'll be our clapper loader. I can find someone from the store to help with logistics. What do you think, Xavier?
Fine by me. As for our camera operator, I was thinking of letting the Traveler take the role.
Oh, he's great when it comes to using a camera. Paimon can't even count how many things we've taken photos of during our journey.
Yes, that's also what I was thinking. I noticed the Traveler had an eye for photography and composition when we worked together previously.
I'm sure that's due to the Traveler's journey across Tevat and all the places they've seen. After so many adventures, using a camera must be second nature by now.
What do you say, Traveler? Are you interested in the job? thank you. It really means a lot to me. Come on, friend. Let me give you a big warm hug.
There's a director and an assistant.
Oh, me. I want to be the director's assistant. All we need to do is help the director, right? I can handle that.
All right, then all we need is a director. Oh, all the well-known directors in...
Oh, Farina helped out a theater troupe recently by serving as an artistic consultant. She could be a good director, right? Besides, it's not like she has...
Farina? Do you really think Lady Farina would be willing to help us with our humble project?
Isn't that the name of Fontaine's Hydro Archon? My brother has already informed me about what happened here in Fontaine.
Yep, that's her. She helped out a theater troupe not too long ago, and now she's taking up work as a director.
Well,
Oh, I saw that musical. Her performance was perfect, and the storyboards were also excellent. Don't let her former identity intimidate you. She's the best candidate we can think of right now. You'll never know until you give her a shot.
Fine. You're right, Shiori. I'll do anything for the sake of my film. Anything! Then I'll have to ask the Traveler and Paimon to show me the way to Lady Farina's residence. I just hope she'll agree to help.
Do you need us to also come along?
No, there's no need to trouble you with this. Besides, you've just arrived in Fontaine, and I'm sure there are many places you would like to visit. Just leave this task to me. It's part of my duties as the producer.
Very well. Then we'll be waiting to hear the good news.
I'll go with you. By the way, you might want to consider bringing a gift.
And don't worry, we won't simply drop you off at Farina's place. We know...
All right, then I'll start making preparations. As for the gift...
A gift for someone who was once seen as the Hydro Archon. I wonder what she would like.
I recall that Lady Farina once fancied a clockwork...
Huh? Can't we just bring some desserts, like the Fontanellia mousse?
But wouldn't that be a little too cheap?
Isn't the Fontanellia festival happening right now? I heard Ava will tell us on the up to do something like that. She must have a...
I agree with Yoimiya. If the gift is too fancy, it...
Alright then, let's go buy some fun...
But will that really be enough? We'll be asking her to do...
You're right. We need to further...
Huh? You want something even sweeter than Fontanellia mousse?
Yes, we'll need a gift that's sweeter than any
Well, what could that be?
Your words of...
Bom, voltei aqui com o áudio aqui, a conversa, o diálogo bem longo, né? E eu ganhei aqui uma receita aqui, deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui nessa receita que eu ganhei. Apertei aqui o botão errado, peraí. E eu já ganhei aqui uma receita. Acho que deve ser a receita do evento. Aqui, ó. Uma receita de mousse de fortinália. Vai fazer um mousse, depois eu vou fazer. Aí vamos falar aqui com a recepcionista aqui, ver o que é que ela diz aqui de alguma coisa aqui. Deixa eu trocar aqui, eu tenho uns prêmios aqui, um e-mail aqui. Ah, sim, aqui é meu aniversário, aqui eu ganhei um bolo aqui de aniversário. Aqui, check-in diário. Tá aqui o bolo do meu aniversário. Aqui, ó, bolo para o viajante. Item muito especial. A data do meu aniversário ali. Depois eu vou pegar, deixa eu trocar aqui, eu vou tirar a menina aqui, eu vou botar aqui o personagem principal. Cadê aqui ele? Cabecinha de vento. E aqui temos aqui os personagens aqui, a Yaka e a Yomiya. Aqui temos aqui o Gaiato, o dançarino de Flamengo. E aqui eu botei aqui o personagem principal só para tirar aqui uma foto aqui para recordação aqui do evento. Deixa eu botar aqui, ó, a máquina de tirar foto. Deixa eu ver aqui. Eu boto aqui para aparecer aqui a recepcionista, né, na foto. Ela piscou o olho. Aqui eles poderiam ter botado aqui mais poses aqui pro personagem, que ele tem pouca pose nas fotos. Ele só tem essas duas aqui e a carinha de feliz ali que a pessoa nem vê. Aqui a carinha de feliz aqui, ó, feliz aqui. Carinha de triste. Aparece a boquinha ali, ó. Bom, tá bom aqui, já falei com os personagens. Vamos para o apartamento da Furina. Onde é o apartamento da Furina? É lá fora. Ah, esqueci de olhar aqui o restaurante aqui do coisa aqui do hotel. Não olhei da outra vez aqui, eu vou voltar aqui de novo, só para me ver esse restaurante aqui, peraí. Eles deviam melhorar essa tela de load, é uma das reclamações que eu tenho aqui, muito longa. Eu vou voltar aqui e vamos ver a tela de load de novo. Aqui. Olhei aqui os itens que tem aqui no restaurante. Deixa eu aproveitar e ver, já que eu tô aqui, antes que eu me esqueça. Deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui nos itens que tem aqui. Ai, tem muita receita, ó. Fez bem eu ter voltado, ó. Tanto de receita. Receita e ingredientes, ó. Será que dá pra me comprar tudo? Vou comprar aqui. Lasanha, sopa de pescado branco. Tem muita receita aqui. Aí tá aí, comprei todas as receitas. E aqui temos as comidas aqui, ilha flutuante. Vamos comprar essas comidas também aqui. É bem carinha, mas tem bastante dinheiro ali. Não recomendo você comprar, não façam isso que eu tô fazendo. Só se você tiver muito dinheiro. Mas mesmo assim, compre com cuidado as coisas aqui no jogo, que o dinheiro vai rápido. Ali o meu dinheiro já está acabando já, ó. Acaba rapidinho o dinheiro. Açúcar é sempre bom comprar açúcar. A maioria das receitas aqui desse jogo se faz com açúcar. A receita típica é chinesa mesmo, ali do Oriente ali. Eles gostam muito de açúcar. Eu tenho bastante bacon ali, mas eu vou comprar. Essas salsichas também. Creme eu vou comprar também, vou aproveitar e comprar logo. Tá aí, comprei tudo. Só essa Fanta aqui eu não preciso. Eu tenho Fanta, não? Vou comprar essa Fanta aqui, eu tô sem Fanta. Tá aí, tá tudo comprado aqui no carinha aqui. Deixa eu ver aqui O que, é que ele está falando aqui? Bora ver as sugestões dele. É bom sempre falar com os personagens aqui no jogo. Alguns dele dão algum item, assim, alguma besteirinha. Alguns dão um item bom, da receita. Então é sempre bom falar com eles. Mesmo não ganhando nada, às vezes. Vamos para o apartamento aqui da Furina aqui. Onde é esse apartamento dela? Nem sabia que ela tinha apartamento. Ela mora aqui do lado da Forger. Bom, meus amigos, mais uma vez aqui vai ter diálogos. Eu vou desligar aqui meu áudio e qualquer coisa comentem aí no chat que eu respondo.
Farina lives.
Okay, I'll go knock on the door.
Who are you?
Lady Farina.
Hello. Oh, is that the traveler in Paimon I see behind you? And who's this?
I'm Chiori.
Ah, the one from Chioria Boutique. Hello, hello. So, what are you all doing here? Do you need something?
Did you just get up, Farina? It's already past noon, you know. Huh? Oh, Paimon means the weather is so nice in the afternoon and the sun is so warm. Just like how you make us feel. Sleeping in late is a really smart idea.
No. I was just up late last night reading some novels. What does sleeping in have to do with the weather?
This is a small gift we've prepared for you, Lady Farina. We hope you like it.
No need to be so formal. I'm just a regular person like everyone else now. Oh, is this Fontinalia mousse? It's one of my favorites!
That's great! So, actually, there's something we need your help with. Given your renowned passion and understanding of drama, I would like to ask that you serve as the director of our film crew.
Oh, but didn't you just say that you're a director?
Yes, but for this particular project, I'm mainly working as a producer. Besides, I'm sure that your understanding of the performing arts far surpasses my own, Lady Farina.
Are the Traveler and Paimon also part of the film crew?
Yep, we sure are. Paimon's the clapper loader and he's the camera operator.
Camera operator? That can be a pretty technical job, and it directly affects the final quality of the film. Are you real? No, I'm not questioning your abilities. It's...
Maybe you can come up with a test for the Traveler and see for yourself. If he can satisfy you with his camera skills, then you'd have nothing to worry about and can join the team.
You sure are getting better at rolling with the situation, Paimon. Oh, I do wish to see how skilled the Traveler really is with a camera. Alright, how about this? We'll work with what we have. I'll give you some scenarios and see if you're very good.
It's essential for the camera operator to understand the director's vision. I'll make my decision after seeing your work. Are you ready? I have high standards, you know. Okay, grab the camera and I'll give you a scenario. appears that you have more skill than I thought. All the shots had a great composition, and I could really feel a connection to the characters and their lines.
Yeah! Does that mean you agree to be our director, Farina?
Did you think I would agree just like that? After our performance of The Little Oceanid, I've begun to make a name for myself again, you know. In fact, I've already had several troupes approach me for the Fontanalia Film Festival. Unfortunately, the scripts were all pretty boring and didn't pique my interest. If others were to find out I agreed to work with you so easily, then, well...
Hey, but didn't we have a deal? What else do we need to do to convince you, Farina?
Well, what about the pay?
Huh?
You know, how much you're willing to pay me to be the director? The pay is also an important factor for me to consider, you know.
Well, I can offer you this much?
What? That's all? If Nervulat were to hear of this, he could charge you with underpaying your labor.
I'm sorry, but our crew is in a tight financial spot at the moment.
I see. Well, even though it's highly unlikely now that I'll join your crew, there's still something I'd like to ask. Exactly what film are you planning to make?
Oh, our script is an adaptation of The Two Musketeers.
Huh? Wait, you mean the suspense thriller novel that was a #1 bestseller?
Oh, so Farina's read it too.
Of course I read it. I've always had a keen interest in artistic works that strike a chord with the populace. I see. It all makes sense now. You must have used most of the budget to pay for the copyright.
Not really. The novel's author transferred the copyright to me practically for free once he heard that I wanted to make a film adaptation of the story. The lack of budget is due to another issue.
He probably just wants to get his name out there. So, Mora isn't the most important thing to him right now. It reminds me of a delivery courier who wears one of my designs while traveling all across Teyvat. I didn't charge her much for the outfit either. The exposure she provides for my brand is well worth it.
So, are you a big fan of this story, Farina?
Well, it's alright. The pacing of the story is good, but the character relationships could use some work. When I was reading it before, I always felt like some things were left on a rather unsatisfactory note. I have high standards, you know. Ahem, Mr. Xavier, if, hypothetically speaking, I agree to be the director, how much freedom would I have in terms of script revisions and creative interpretation?
Oh, as much freedom as you would need. I wouldn't dare doubt the tastes of Fontaine's greatest star.
Good. Then I'm free to alter the script as I see fit?
Absolutely, no problem.
All right. It seems that your crew really can't go on without my care and direction.
So, you agree?
Yes, I agree. Although the pay is well below what someone of my... I mustn't let a perfectly good story be ruined due to lack of funds. If you...
Oh, Hydro Archon above!
There's no more Hydro Archon. There's a lot that goes into shooting a film. Although... finalizing the script and casting the actors have already been taken care of, we'll still need to reserve filming locations. Not to say set up. And by the way, since we'll be filming The Two Musketeers, we'll need to find an action choreographer. Ideally, a professional who has actual experience with muskets.
Yes, I've thought about this as well. I was hoping that you might know someone who could handle the job.
Me? If this was before, I could have simply Navia can also use firearms, but unfortunately...
Could we ask the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol?
Oh, you mean the Special Patrol's musketeers?
Yes, that's right. They work with muskets every day. I can't think of anyone more qualified than...
They would be under Nervilette's jurisdiction. Unfortunately, I, don't have any connection with them at all. So... In the end, we still have to start by talking to Nervilette.
No need to go to all that trouble. I know their Captain Chevres.
Oh, you do? Wait, Chiori, how do you know the captain of the Special Patrol's musketeers?
No particular reason. Running a business means dealing with some trouble from time to time, and she's helped me out on a few occasions. In return, I've helped her handle a few situations in which the Special Patrol couldn't get involved directly. So, we've gotten to know each other over time.
So you're saying there's been times when the Special Patrol needed a fashion designer to handle a situation? Your work is becoming more and more mysterious.
It'd be best to keep it that way. Anyway, enough about that. What do you all think about asking the captain to be our musket action choreographer?
She sounds professional enough. She is a captain after all. I have no objections.
But I imagine the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol must be busy with their duties. Do you think she'd really have time to help with shooting a film? And then there's the issue of pay.
Well, it just so happens that she's also not the kind of person that's just after Mora. As for whether she has time, I'll have to go and ask her first.
Then I'll leave that to you. Macaroni's on sale today, so I've got to go. You can just tell me how things went when we discuss tomorrow's plan later.
No problem.
Having Farina join feels like a big boost to our team!
Of course. Just wait until the day of our premiere. You'll witness the true power of my name in these lands. You'll be so glad I agreed to help. I can guarantee that even the standing tickets will be sold out. I'll be sure to ask some people I know to see if they'd be willing to act as extras.
Seems like you're finally getting more comfortable with your own reputation now.
I didn't ask for the Clapper Loader's commentary, Paimon.
Then let's get going. I happen to know where Chevres is today.
By the way, I'm curious. If my pay is so low, then what about our two lead actors? Didn't they travel here all the way from Inazuma?
Actually, they told us that they see the trip as part of a cultural exchange, so they didn't ask for any pay.
What? So is every person in Teyvat who doesn't want money gathered here to shoot this film? Don't tell me Chiori isn't being paid either.
I already knew Xavier from before, and he's also agreed to give my brand some good exposure.
It seems the gods have really smiled upon you, Xavier.
All right, this is the place.
But...
She's over there. The one with an eye patch reading in front of the newsstand.
Oh, her! Paimon could tell there was something different about her. She seems kinda intimidating.
Please wait here for a moment. I'll go fetch her. She's working now, so you might not want to get in her way.
Working? But isn't she just standing there and reading a novel?
Just trust me.
Oh, alright, let's see what happens then. Shiori sure is a mysterious person. She claims just to be a fashion designer, but she knows all these powerful people.
The court of Fontaine isn't particularly tolerant of visitors from overseas, so it isn't easy for a foreigner to promote their brand here. Even more so in the competitive world of fashion. Even a local like me just trying to make a film has to face all kinds of challenges, so I can only imagine what Shiori has been through to get where she is today. I'm sure that having more connections has definitely worked in her favor.
Reading on the job?
Detective novel.
One main character?
No. Multiple. Branching storylines.
I see. How's the plot coming along?
One of the main characters is about to make a choice that will affect the rest of his life. I'd wager he's going to make the wrong choice.
Any way to speed things up? There's something I need your help with.
You know that doesn't depend on me. It all comes down to what the character chooses.
Which is exactly why I'm here to help.
All right. It appears he made the wrong choice in the end. Halt!
Huh? What's going on?
Hand over whatever you're holding.
Oh, it's just a book. I didn't buy anything else.
Then I'm sure you wouldn't mind letting me have a look.
Excuse me, officer. I don't mind you standing around here, not purchasing anything, but I'd prefer if you didn't disturb my customers. It's bad for business, you know?
Don't give me that act. You won't be able to get off so easily either. I am Chevras, captain of Fontaine's Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. I will say this one last time. Hand over whatever you're holding at once. And before you do anything unwise, let me remind you that I'll have you on the ground before you can even think about making a run for it.
All right. I'll give it to you. But please let me say something first. If there's any contraband in that book, then the shopkeeper here is the one who slipped it in. I don't have anything to do with this.
Why, you trying to leave me on the hook, huh? You were the one who said you wanted it.
Save it for the interrogation room. Take them away, Letelier.
What's going on here? One second you're reading a book and the next you're escorting people away.
And who are... Oh! Aren't you the traveler who's been all over the papers recently? Shiori, I'm assuming what you wanted to ask me about has to do with them, right? Maybe I can let you in on what's happening then. Now that Vache has been brought to justice, no new shipments of synth will be made and distributed to sellers. The Fontaine guards have been busy collecting the remaining synths still circulating on the market. Thanks to a tip from our reliable source here, this should be the very last batch.
Oh, so you were pretending to read a book in order to catch the bad guys! Oh, Paimon almost forgot to introduce ourselves. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler and Xavier!
Hey, I'm Chevras. You probably already heard me introduce myself, so I won't bother repeating it.
Yeah, why didn't you make a move as soon as you had the chance? Were you worried that my intel wasn't accurate?
No, I wanted to see if the shopkeeper would turn himself in first. All he had to do was come up to me and say that he didn't know where the synth had come from. If he did that, then I wouldn't have had to press charges on him.
He had the whole day to turn the synth over to Chevras. But instead, the moment I came up and blocked Chevras' line of sight, he took the opportunity to sell it off.
Yep, he made the wrong choice, even though the right choice was right there in front of him.
But you knew they wouldn't make the right choice.
Yeah, I knew. I was just hoping I'd be wrong for once. Enough about that, though. What did you want to ask me about?
Oh, you see, it's like this.
The Two Musketeers. You certainly have a good eye for a story. So what do you need me to do? Just be the action choreo-
Yes, that's right. I want to make sure we get all the details right. However, I'm afraid this work will require a bit of your time, since you'll have to be present whenever we're filming. Also, as for the pay...
No need to say any more. I'll join.
Huh? Just like that?
Really? You're willing to help us with our humble film project?
Sure, it's no big deal. As I said, we've wrapped up our investigation here, so I don't have any other tasks on my plate for the moment. Besides, I personally really like this novel. I even have the collector's edition at home. Stories where justice prevails over evil never get old for me.
Then we've got a deal?
Yes, I'll see you on set tomorrow.
Oh my! I can hardly believe it! I should tell Lady Farina immediately. Oh, and I must tell the prop manager and lighting technician to get everything ready. We start filming tomorrow!
Calm down, Xavier. The film is going to take more than just a day to finish. Still, I should also head back now and start preparing the actors' costumes and makeup.
Alright, guess that's it for today then.
Traveler, Paimon, please stay for a moment. I have something to tell you.
Then I'll take Xavier back. Poor thing. He's so excited that he can't even walk straight anymore. Yep, see you tomorrow.
So what did you want to tell us, Chevres?
Have you read The Two Musketeers? The story is about a pair of children born into the household of a baron, and their struggle to survive together and take revenge for their mother. They were raised at the baron's estate, where their mother worked as a maid. The two were illegitimate children that the baron had with the maid, so they were never treated well by anyone. One day, upon returning home, they found their mother had been murdered and left dead on the floor. It was quite evident that the culprits were the other members of the baron's household, who never had any kind words to say to them. However, the baron was able to exert his influence and keep the whole thing under wraps. The mother's death was eventually deemed as a suicide, and there was no chance of bringing her murderers to justice. The two siblings decided to flee and someday avenge their mother. Many years later, members of the baron's family suddenly started turning up dead one after the other, all killed by gunshot. A rainbow rose was found on each of the victims' bodies, being the flower that the kid's mother liked best. The baron believed that the mother's soul had come to take, but it was actually those two siblings. They used all of their abilities to collect evidence.
That's quite an exhilarating story.
Yep, the baron got what he deserved for his evil deeds, and justice was...
Oh, so is that why you were so willing to join our crew, Chevres?
You could say it was one of the reasons.
Oh, you mean there were other reasons too?
I've read the reports about you. Whether it was at the trials or when you lent your hand to resolve our nation's crisis, you've shown that you've got a strong sense of justice, as well as a great mind for deductions. Yes, you're as sharp as I expected. It seems you've experienced many similar situations. There's been a recent murder case involving muskets. The perpetrator's methods...
Huh? Really? But Paimon didn't see anything about that.
The Marechaussee Phantom hasn't yet released any information to the public, because the investigation is currently at a standstill.
A murder involving firearms? But not that many...
Impossible. We perform a routine inspection of our firearms and ammo reserves every day. If one of the weapons had been fired, however... Well, that's all I can disclose about the case today.
Huh?
I hope you all can go back and get some shut-eye. You can decide tomorrow whether or not you'd like to join the investigation with me. I'm aware this might not be the ideal time to add more to your plate, but the more capable people we have. Carrying out investigations isn't actually supposed to be our responsibility. Our job is to apprehend the perpetrators. I don't want people to see muskets in a negative way, and also...
You mean, they might be connected somehow?
I suspect so. Just to make myself clear, this is not an If you two have any interest in the case after we finish filming tomorrow, and are willing to...
What do you think, Traveler? Yeah, you're right. Paimon's getting a little tired, too. We've really been hustling all day.
You'd better head back and get some rest. It's good to keep a calm mind, especially when you're about to make an important decision. Otherwise, when the moment comes, you might end up like that shopkeeper and not even realize that the right choice is right there in front of you.
Bom, voltei aqui com o áudio. Aí terminei aqui o capítulo 1, é o ato 1 aqui da história do evento. Tá pedindo aqui para carregar o controle. Eu vou começar aqui o ato 2 aqui, tem que passar o dia. Deixa eu ver aqui. Aqui, ó, terminei aqui o ato 1. Aqui foi o ato 1, demorou aqui eu acho que 1 hora. Deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui rapidinho, peraí. Não. É, 1 hora. 1 hora aqui. Bom, vamos continuar aqui. Eu vou fazer aqui o ato 2 aqui. Ficção e realidade. Aí tem que esperar aqui até o próximo dia. Um momento aqui, eu vou resolver aqui um assunto, já eu volto, peraí. Bom, voltei aqui. Vamos continuar aqui o evento. Vou passar aqui o horário. Deixa eu pegar logo esse correio aqui. Aqui é o bolo do meu aniversário aqui. Bora dar uma olhada aqui no bolo do meu aniversário. Aqui no segundo bolo. O segundo bolo de aniversário aqui. Dá pra usar, não é? Ó, interessante, esse daqui dá pra usar para vocês. Ah, agora eu tô... não sei se eu uso. Aqui são as receitas que eu comprei. Eu não vou mexer agora não, nesse bolo. Não vou mexer agora. Deixar aqui guardado por enquanto. Eles poderiam ter mandado um personagem 5 estrelas pra mim. Então vamos passar aqui para o próximo dia aqui para fazer o ato 2 aqui do evento. Aqui 8 horas, não é?
It's finally time to meet up with everyone. Paimon even dreamt of making the film last night.
Ah, para ir para... deixa eu ver onde é que é para ir. Ah, é para voltar aqui pro hotel, né? Bom, amigos, já chegamos aqui mais uma vez aqui no ato 2 aqui do evento. Vou fazer aqui o ato 2 aqui do evento e mais uma vez aí peço aí que inscrevam-se no meu canal Ficção e Realidade Dentro e Fora do Quadro. E mais uma vez aí peço aí que inscrevam-se no meu canal, dê um like ou dislike, comente, compartilhe e ative o sino para receber notificações. E eu vou desligar aqui o meu áudio porque pode atrapalhar o diálogo dos personagens. Eu não tenho muito o que falar aqui do evento não. Eu recomendo que faça esses eventos para ganhar os prêmios, né, as recompensas. Isso ajuda bastante. E eu vou desligar aqui. Qualquer coisa comentem aí no chat.
Good morning. Xavier said yesterday afternoon went well.
Yeah, and how about you, Ayaka? What were you up to yesterday?
After we split up, Ayato went to see Udex Nervillette at the Palais Marmonia. I was originally thinking of going with him, but he said he could manage it himself. He told me to go see the sights around Fontaine and to enjoy the local culture. So I rode the aqua bus with Yoimiya and visited the opera house on Aranias Island.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe what we saw there! 2 mechanical puppets that were dancing together! You've already seen them, right? Yeah, those two! Amazing, aren't they?
We sat and watched for quite a while. It was mesmerizing. Like we could keep watching them forever.
Oh, it was the same for us the first time we saw them too!
Afterwards, we went swimming at the beach! Well, diving to be exact. It was the first time I ever breathed underwater! I held Ayaka's hand and we counted down together. 3, 2, 1, and then splash! We were beneath the waves. At first, I didn't dare to open my mouth. But once I couldn't hold my breath any longer, I decided to take a big breath in. Turns out the water wasn't as salty as I imagined. It didn't really taste like anything at all. Before I knew it, I was breathing like normal down there. It was an amazing feeling. Ayaka said I was too nervous and needed to loosen my grip. She got used to everything way faster than I did.
I knew that the Traveler could do it, so I had no doubt we could do it too. That helped me feel at ease as soon as we dove in. The underwater world in Fontaine truly is beautiful. I love seeing the romaritime flowers blossoming underwater, like little candles lighting up the streets at night.
Yeah, and there were so many creatures that we've never seen in Inazuma. Like those fish that shimmer like a sword blade. Whoosh! Oh, and those big fish that call when they see people.
Ooh. Oh, you mean Hunter's Rays and Blubber Beasts.
I just love the name Blubber Beast. Just wait till Pops and the others hear about this. They probably won't believe a word I say.
Yoimiya was down there for quite a while. It was dark before we finally rode the aquabus back to the city. I figured...
Yeah, even I was worried I wouldn't be able to get up. I still felt like I was drifting in the waves when I went to sleep last night. But as soon as I woke up today, I remembered that we'd all be shooting a film together, and I was ready to go.
Speaking of the film, where's everybody else?
My brother and Xavier were speaking to the restaurant owner about using the place as a filming location. They should be here soon. As for the others, we're here.
Please excuse my tardiness. I just finished the Special Patrol's 6-mile morning jog.
Wait, 6 miles?
I'm so tired. I heard you all chatting, so I decided to come down. I sure could use some of that endless energy everyone else has.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Can someone fetch me a cup of coffee? More milk, hold the sugar.
Sure. I'd be happy to do that for you.
No, you can't go anywhere. Please, have a seat over here so I can get started on your makeup. The last thing I want is coffee stains on my costumes.
I can get the coffee. It's the perfect job for an assistant.
So much energy. Seriously, what's her secret?
Oh, Yoimiya's always like that. But you sure look exhausted, Farina. It's because you're not used to waking up so early, huh?
Of course not. I spent the whole night reading the novel from cover to cover, marking sections that either need to be omitted or adapted.
Wow, Paimon didn't expect you to be so thorough.
Well, I was the biggest star in all of Fontaine after all. It takes more than just a pretty face to earn a reputation like that. I know how to get serious when the situation calls for it. I went all out when I was acting as an Archon, so why wouldn't I do the same for my own life?
Here's your coffee, Director Farina.
Oh, thank you. The sound of being
It seems everyone has managed to arrive on time.
We've reached an agreement with the restaurant owner. We are free to use the second floor to shoot our film.
Really? That's great!
He is really looking forward to our film, and hopes that providing his restaurant as a filming location will attract more customers.
Well then, Mr. Xavier, I'll leave the rest to you.
Okay, thanks. First, I'd like to introduce This is our prop manager, Veronique. And this is Bono, our lighting technician. He'll be in...
Wow, Sure feels like we have some real
First of all, please allow me to first express. When my investor informed me yesterday that he wouldn't be able to provide the funds, I really thought that this was the nail in the coffin for this film. I had no idea that I'd find so many people willing to help me on such short notice. Thank you. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
No need to be so cordial, Mr. Xavier. We're all honored to be a part of this.
Your works made a profound impression on me when I saw them back in Inazuma. I am sure that someday, this film will be remembered as a prime example of cultural exchange between Fontaine and Inazuma.
Yes, the story is the reason I agreed to join. I can't bear to even imagine what this film would look like without the very best director.
Anyway, I would like to make a promise to everyone that as the producer of this film, I'll do whatever I can to ensure that everything goes as smoothly as possible. This is not just my film. It also embodies the thoughts and feelings of every... So, without further ado, The Two Musketeers will officially begin filming now! You may take it from here, Director...
All right. Listen up, everyone. The first scene takes place when the two young musketeers are living at the Baron's home.
Whoa. Seems Farina's really kicking things in.
Is everyone clear? I don't want anyone traipsing around the set like umbrella finches. All right. Cameras will start rolling as soon as the set is ready. Let's make a film that'll make some serious waves in Fontaine. Not the kind of waves that drown people. I mean, the good kind of waves.
Seems like she's still a bit traumatized by that. Anyway, let's go see if there's anything we can do to help.
I don't need any help here. Why don't you try asking someone?
Ayaka has mentioned you to me before. She said that you two were great friends when you were kids.
No talking. I'm thinking about how to do your eyeshadow.
Ah, yes. To help me really look the part.
To achieve a more young and naive look for this scene.
Are you saying the wrinkles around my eyes are too deep?
You just have too much of a calculating look in your eyes.
You sure don't mince your words. It seems you really haven't changed much.
Quiet.
Not exactly.
How about here?
A little more to the left.
You got it.
And?
No, I'm fine. You know, doing the lighting is kind of like designing a fireworks show. It's interesting to imagine what kind of atmosphere the lights will create. I heard that the Traveler will be operating the camera and Paimon will be the clapper loader, right? Those roles are just perfect for the two of you.
Really? Is that because it'll be easy for Paimon to hold the clapperboard while flying?
Well, sure, there's that, but I just think that after all your journeys together, you two must have developed a super close bond, and just, oh, I see. It's a...
Yoimiya, we need lights over there, too.
Oh, on it! I've got to get back to work. Chat with you later. Oh, it's exciting.
Seems like Yoimiya's really getting into it. But she was right. We...
So, this is a real musket?
No, it's just a prop weapon.
Not bad. Have you seen a real musket before?
Only in books and newspapers. I made this one based on the relative shape and proportions I saw in reference images. When we're filming, some special gunpowder will be applied around the muzzle, which will help create the flash and smoke effects of a real gun being fired.
Which means it'll be up to the actors to portray the recoil.
That's right. The sound effects for gunshots will also be added in post-production.
Thank you, Veronique. I think I know where to start now. However, the musket's gears and firing pin could still use some work. Adding some wear on the metallic components will make them appear more realistic. Also, be sure to rub the muskets with some oil each time before we start shooting. That'll give the impression that the firearms have been well maintained.
Good point.
You seem to know a lot, Miss Chevres. I assume you use these types of firearms on a regular basis?
Yes, I perform routine maintenance on my weapons every day. Just like we as people need to eat and sleep, muskets need to be cleaned and maintained.
I also perform similar care for my sword every day, and familiarize myself with its shape and weight, to the
Yes. This way, our weapons will never betray us in the heat of battle.
Yes, well said. It seems we have the same—
Oh, sounds like they found a common interest to talk about.
Though these props differ from the muskets I use, I can still give you some—
Good. I look forward to your instruction.
First and foremost, never point the weapon at anyone, regardless of whether it's a real or prop weapon, or whether you're holding it or it's on the table. This holds for any time—
Okay, understood.
When aiming the musket, extend your arm so that it's level with your shoulder, and use your eye to—
Like this?
Not bad. Now, try saying your lines.
This is the end of the road for you.
Good. Now turn your body a little. That way, you'll give your enemy less of a target to work with. And relax your shoulders. Here, allow me to demonstrate. This is the end of the road for you.
Huh. Excuse me, Miss Chiori. Director Farina, there's something I wish to discuss with you.
Oh? What is it?
Like this?
Yes, much better.
What do you think?
I do see your point.
I believe it would be most fitting.
Well, if you insist. All right, I understand. Miss Ayaka, Miss Chevres, could the two of you please—
Huh? What's going on? Are we gonna start filming now?
Let's go see.
What is it?
I have a question for you, Miss Chevres. Would you be willing to play the role of a musketeer?
What?
To clarify, I would like to turn over my role to Miss Chevres.
But brother—
Don't worry, Ayaka. I actually view this as a good thing. I was becoming troubled trying to set aside some time to speak to the staff at the Palais Mermonia. I would like to have some conversations about the cultural exchange between our two countries, and I've heard that the bureaucratic process here can get rather complicated. Now, I will be able to focus on my work. Besides, you also know that I'm not really one for public performances.
Are you really sure?
From a director's point of view, I also felt like the relationship between the two musketeers in the original story could be improved. The older brother in the story plays the lead role with his overbearing character, but this causes his character to overshadow that of his sister, and the theme of the two supporting and relying on each other isn't conveyed very well. But if we were to change this— Also, I've seen you instructing Ayaka. That cold and dignified personality is exactly what we need for the older musketeer.
Of course, even with all these insights, the decision—
Chevres mentioned that she really likes the story, right? Paimon bets that she'll take the role.
All right, I'll take the role.
Good. It's decided then. We'll also need to make some immediate adjustments. I have a feeling that our
You're doing a great favor for me, Miss Chevres. You have my gratitude.
Don't mention it. I like this character, so if anything, I should be the one thanking you.
Well, since my brother is the one who brought up the idea, I suppose there's no need to worry. Let's go, Miss Chevres. I look forward to working with you.
Please, just call me Chevres.
Seems like you're really going out of your way to solve the problem I was having with your makeup.
Surely you jest, Chiori. I assure you that I was mostly motivated by a desire to spend more time on formal business.
Oh, come on. You really think I'd buy that? According to what I've heard from Ayaka, her brother is someone who can juggle 10 different matters at the same time. I'm sure you have other reasons for backing out.
Perhaps. Ayaka always said she wanted to go out and see more of the world, just like the Traveler. But I feel that she needs not only to see other nations, but also to make some different kinds of friends. I think it would be harder for her to make new connections with me constantly by her side. I would like to give her some space.
Alright, go on. Spoil her some more.
Ayato! It's too bad you're stepping down from the role. Paimon really wanted to see you act as...
No need to poke fun at me.
It's a little hard for Paimon to imagine you say...
Yes, I've made an appointment to meet some people.
Traveler, get the camera ready. Paimon, get the clapperboard.
Go on now.
Yep, don't worry.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing the film when it's finished.
All right, now that we're all here, let me help set the scene for everyone. The first scene takes place when our two main characters are still living at the Baron's estate. They've been ostracized and verbally abused by others in the household, but they still have no idea why. We want to capture how naive and innocent they are, despite their pain. Chevres will be playing the role of the older sister, Tulip, and Ayaka will be the younger sister, Iris. Be sure to get close-ups of the main characters at the right moment. Silence on the set! Lights, camera, action!
Let's go!
Tulip, Mother's been out for quite a while now.
Perhaps she went to pick some flowers on the way home. You know how she loves flowers.
Iris, Tulip! I'm home!
Mother! You were out for so long, we were beginning to worry about you.
I'm sorry, but I'm back now, safe and sound. Here, I brought your favorite treat, apple turnovers.
Mother, what are those bruises on your hand?
Huh? What bruises? Oh, I must have bumped into something while I was working yesterday.
But I didn't notice them this morning.
Then perhaps they're from when I accidentally tripped when I was out just now. By the way, did you have fun playing at home? What's the matter, Iris?
Well, we've realized that no one really wants to play with us.
They even took Iris's doll and spat at us.
And they even called us names. They said we were...
Shh. It's all right. Don't worry. Girls, listen to me. It doesn't matter what anyone says. Don't listen to them. No one can define you with such words. You both have wonderful lives ahead of you. Just like your names. You will both blossom like beautiful flowers. Maybe your time to blossom hasn't quite come yet, but one day, you two will bloom more beautifully than anything else. Don't let the soil you're in now ruin your future beauty. Understand? My dear daughters.
And cut! Not bad. The actor's emotions were all on point. Let's keep that take. Also, if our clapper loader could avoid shouting at the start of the scene next time...
Oh, got it.
Great. I was a little worried that my nerves would get the better of me. What about you, Chevres?
I felt fine. The lines weren't too difficult at all. Seems like Farina must have adapted the role nicely.
You two were great. I couldn't tell it was your first time acting in a film. You should have more confidence.
Thank you for your encouragement.
Positions, everyone! We'll move on to the next scene after we try a few more camera angles. This scene is when our two characters return home, only to discover their mother has been murdered. Ready? Lights! Camera! Action!
Mother, we're back! Mother? What's wrong, Tulip?
Iris, stay away!
Huh? Why? What's... Mother! Mother... She's...
There's poison in this cup.
Huh? I could have sworn I've seen this kind of cup before.
Those aristocrats. They didn't even try to cover up their actions. Iris, we need to leave this place.
Leave? But now that Mother is gone, where can we even go?
Anywhere. All I know is that we can't stay in this house.
But are we just going to let them get away with this?
We'll have our revenge, I promise you. Just not right now. Come on, let's go.
No, wait. We can't just leave Mother here like this. At least let me leave this rose with her. That's why we went out in the first place. To buy her this flower.
All right. Goodbye, Mother. We'll avenge you. Someday.
And cut! Beautiful! Great performance!
Oh my, you're so amazing, Ayaka! And were those real tears I saw? How did you do it?
I was surprised too.
Thank you for the kind compliments. Actually, as soon as Director Farina said action, I told myself not to think about anything. I just felt the weight of the moment and became the character. It's quite similar to practicing the art of the sword. You clear your mind and focus only on what's happening in front of you.
Ayaka's performance was amazing. Have I discovered an acting prodigy? Pipe down, everyone! We need to move on to the next scene!
Huh? Are we done already? But Paimon wants to keep playing with the clapperboard. How do you feel, Traveler? Is your arm sore from holding the camera all day?
Good work, you two.
You too, Shivers. You were quite the actress today.
I've read this novel many times before. I have a good grasp of my character's mindset. Anyway, Do you remember my request from yesterday?
Oh, right! We were having so much fun that Paimon nearly forgot! You have a case where the murders seem really similar to the cases in the novel, right? So, how are they similar exactly?
In the story, the main characters grow up to become two musketeers, always using their guns to carry out their revenge. And on each of the victims, they place a rainbow rose as a signal that they've returned. Yes, that's correct. We found rainbow roses just like in the novel. Seems like you're connecting the dots now.
Oh, that does sound pretty concerning. Especially after seeing the script today. Oh, now Paimon can't stop wondering what kind of ulterior motive the murderer might have. What do you think, Traveler? You're smart. Paimon wants to hear your thoughts.
Good. On behalf of Fontaine's Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, thank you for your dedication to justice. There's no time to lose. We should start investigating right away. Follow me.
Huh? Right now? Well, we just got done filming all day. Paimon's so tired.
The most valuable intel always comes after nightfall. They are like small, remote islands in the middle of the sea. If you don't stay vigilant, you will pass right by them in the fog. That's how one of my favorite books always puts it, at least.
So, where are we going right now?
Let's start by checking out some workshops that sell mechanical components. If the culprit is making their own weapons, it's very likely that they'll visit those sort of places.
Welcome to Le Show's Clockwork Workshop. How can I help you?
Hello. I'd like to know if anyone has purchased some special components lately.
Special components? Sorry, could you be more specific?
I mean the kind of components that aren't typically used for clockwork toys, but for firearms.
Huh? For firearms? No, we don't sell those sort of things here.
Don't misunderstand. I'm not here to cause any trouble. We are merely investigating a case, and we're hoping that you could cooperate.
Well, to be completely honest, I'm not even sure what kind of components that would entail.
Has anyone ever purchased components here as an individual rather than on behalf of an organization?
We have a lot of customers who buy toys, but those who buy components are all regular customers who buy in bulk on behalf of their organization.
Is that so? I understand. Thank you for your cooperation.
You're welcome. It's the least I can do.
Oh, hey, Chevris. Run out of oil for your musket again?
Hello, Estelle. I want to know if anyone has come to your shop recently to order some firearm components.
Oh, is this another case? Let me think. I don't think so. Some people have requested that I make some prop guns for the Fontanalia Film Festival, but I refused all of those requests.
Oh? Why's that?
Because there's no profit! I only make things here that can do some real heavy lifting. I don't have the energy to make some new molds just for the festival.
Then has anybody come specifically looking for mechanical components?
Well, I usually sell off my scrap to the Fleuve Cendre. I don't typically give them to one specific person.
I understand. Thanks for your cooperation.
Don't mention it. Always happy to have the Musketeers' patronage.
Seems like we haven't found any leads to go off yet.
Yeah, unfortunately. All right, let's head to Fleuve Cendre next.
Huh? Are you sure? People might not be so thrilled to see the captain of the special patrol there.
You think so, huh? Then I guess you don't know.
Huh? Know what?
That I grew up in Fleuve Cendre.
I hope the weather's nice like this tomorrow as well.
Welcome to Palais Mermonia.
I hope the weather's nice like this tomorrow as well.
Welcome to Palais Mermonia. Welcome to Palais Mermonia.
I hope the weather's nice like this tomorrow as well.
Welcome to Palais Mermonia.
Bom, amigos, voltei aqui com o meu áudio. Eu vou ficando por aqui para continuar aqui o evento, aqui a missão do evento. Eu tenho que fazer aqui a missão principal da história, aqui uma festa do chá complicada. Deve ser alguma parte aqui da história principal. Vai ficar para amanhã. Amanhã eu termino aqui. Amanhã eu faço aqui e volto aqui ao evento. Ainda falta 15 dias, muitos dias ainda. E eu ficarei por aqui. Depois eu faço as missões do evento, as diárias aqui. Tem as diárias para fazer, evento, aqui as missões diárias. Depois eu faço. E é isso. Bom, mais uma vez aí, agradeço a quem assistiu, e para os novatos eu peço que inscrevam-se no meu canal, deixem um like, um dislike, comente, compartilhe, ative o sino para receber notificações. E até a próxima live ou vídeo gameplay. Mais uma vez, obrigado a todos. Ah, rapaz, aí chegou na hora que eu vou desligando aqui a live. Bom, eu ia terminar aqui a live, mas já que chegou uma pessoa aí, me animou aqui, eu vou ficar mais um tempo aqui. Deixa eu carregar aqui os personagens aqui. Dá nem pra fazer uma oração aqui. Então, para continuar aqui o evento, eu tenho que fazer aqui uma festa de chá complicada. Então, vamos fazer aqui ela. Vamos fazer ela aqui. Continuar aqui, já está com 2 horas de live aqui. Então, vamos fazer aqui mais 1 hora de live. Como essas missões são apenas diálogos, eu vou desligar aqui meu áudio aqui, mas qualquer coisa aí você pode comentar aí no chat que eu respondo. Vou desligar aqui para não atrapalhar aqui o áudio aqui do jogo, aqui a conversa dos personagens. Mas eu vou estar olhando aqui o chat. Eu tenho que botar aqui o carregador aqui para carregar um controle. Ele também, eu estava mais desligando aqui porque o controle está descarregado e não dá para ligar a tomada antes de carregar com áudio, com o som ligado, porque tem interferência. Ele dá uma interferência, fica com ruído no fundo. Aí não dá para fazer isso. E também pode danificar o controle. Então, mais uma vez, aí qualquer coisa, comentem aí no chat.
person. Now that the serial disappearances case has been solved, no one's going to come after us for anything. Even without Silver standing guard, we can just completely relax. Why don't we stay and rest up here for a while? Even machines... Oh, come on! This place isn't that bad. Besides, how often do we get to stay in an actual base? Oh, fine. Remember that detective story Paimon read before? Well, the author is about to release a new book, so Paimon wanted to buy it as soon as it came out and have a quiet place to read it. Yippee! Then it's agreed. Come on, let's get some sleep. We'll need to be up first thing in the morning to get in line and buy a copy. Paimon didn't expect that style at all. Even though it's a detective novel, it's also like a social documentary. It's actually pretty good. No! Paimon just spends a bit more time sleeping than you, that's all.
Excuse me, but do you know if the Traveler and Paimon are lodging here?
Huh? Who are you? Paimon doesn't recall seeing you before. Wait, you're not here to give us trouble, are you?
A blonde traveler and a chatty little fairy. Phew, looks like I found the place. Good thing I asked the Spina di Rosula. Seems they sent me the right way.
Hey, what do you mean by chatty? Paimon's always careful not to talk too much. Most of the time, anyway.
It's an honor to meet you both. I was sent from the Palais Mermonia. Monsieur Nourilette wishes to see you. It seems he has something important to discuss in person.
Nourilette? He wants to see us again already? Huh. We talked so much the last time we met. Has something happened since then?
I am not privy to the details. It would be best if you came to the Palais Mermonia and asked Monsieur Nourilette in person.
If you say so, but... Paimon has a bad feeling about this.
Now that I've delivered the message, I'll take my leave.
Thanks! We haven't left the room for a few days, so we'll head over once we've freshened up a bit.
Bom, voltei aqui com o meu áudio aqui. Eu pensei que ia precisar terminar o capítulo todinho aqui da história principal do jogo para continuar o evento, mas parece que não vai precisar não. Aqui, ó, não precisou. Pensei que ia precisar fazer todo esse capítulo, né, que é bem longo ele. Esse capítulo aqui ele é bem longo. Esse é uma festa de chá complicada. Ele é bem longo, então eu pensei que ia fazer todo, mas não. Liberou aqui, então vamos fazer aqui, falar aqui investigar aqui aproveitar, eu vou pegar essas coisas aqui que eu não peguei, ó, Detetive e o Ladrão, Mistério do Broche Arco-Íris, parte 1. Aí tá aqui um livro, ó, Detetive e o Ladrão. Vamos aproveitar aqui e falar aqui com a mulher aqui. Ah, ela é uma advogada, ela. Ela só fala isso, nem vou. Aqui tem algumas coisas, vamos ver o que tem aqui, nada. Essa coisa tá onde? Ele tá aqui em cima ou tá lá embaixo? Tem um pra cá. Bom, eu vou desligar aqui meu áudio aqui mais uma vez, para não interferir aqui. Qualquer coisa comentem aí no chat.
Even though somebody has purposefully tried to clean them up, these are obviously marks from musket bullets. In other words, someone was here trying to improve their shot. They were using the barrels and bottles for target practice.
Could it have been the killer?
Your guess is as good as mine. Although many people at Fleuve Cendres own guns, few hide the fact from others. And even fewer would go to such lengths to hide markings from practice shots. Anyway, let's go. There might be more to this. It's been a while, Tetro.
Please, just get on with your request.
I want to know if you've heard anybody talking about muskets lately.
Information isn't free, you know.
I've heard that bandits have been extremely active in the countryside recently, and they've been affecting the delivery of goods to Poisson. I can allocate some more manpower to help out with that problem. What do you say?
You're still as helpful as ever. One of our men got drunk at dinner about a month ago and lost his gun. 3 days later, it turned up in the corner here.
What's weird about that? He just forgot where he put it, right?
This is Fleuve Cendres, my friend. Anything of value left in the tavern won't ever make it to the next day. But that gun turned out to be an exception. It didn't get any new wear and tear on it, and didn't even appear to have been fired. We were quite mystified as to what could have happened.
I suspect it came back because the weapon was already known to the guards.
You mean, a criminal was afraid the Marechaussee Phantom would use the shot marks to track them down? Maybe. But if that's the case, the culprit really took great care to avoid getting caught.
I didn't say anything about a criminal.
In Fleuve Cendres, knowing who was killed is as easy as... It's the guy living in the east side, isn't it? I've never liked him. Every time he's here, he just orders a drink and sits there with a nasty look in his eyes.
So, who was the one who lost the gun in the first place?
Don't bother. Even if you ask, he wouldn't admit to owning a gun to some strangers. Not to mention the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
He's right.
I know you grew up here, Chevreuse. Even though you're on good terms with the Spina, you've still been gone too long. Not many people know you here now, and a lot of people don't like the Special Patrol.
I know.
So take my advice and don't show your face too much around here. It's for your own safety.
I'll come and go as I please, and I'm afraid I'll be appearing more often due to my work.
All right. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Finally on the right path.
Hello, I'd like to ask some questions.
I don't know anything.
Don't worry, I'm not here to arrest anybody.
You say that now.
It's the truth. Here, take this as my guarantee.
Wait, did Paimon just see what she thinks she saw? Is the captain of the special patrol bribing a citizen?
Seems you're different from the other guards. What do you want to know?
Have you heard anything related to muskets in Fleuve Cendre lately? Anything at all?
Muskets, huh? All I know is that about 2 weeks ago, we started hearing some loud noises at night. So loud that it's been waking me up.
Were they gunshots?
Possibly. It's hard to tell around here. Someone's house collapsing, a pipe exploding somewhere, it's all the same. But the noises I'm talking about definitely happened after I fell asleep.
Do you know where the noises were coming from?
I don't remember clearly.
Is it that you don't remember, or that you need to think about it some more?
You tell me.
Then please, think about it some more.
She's giving her even more Mora!
The noises came from the end of the Southern Waterway. I came out and had a look for myself when I wasn't sleeping well, but I didn't dare get too close. That's all I know.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Thanks for the pâte de fruits.
No need to be surprised. I grew up here, remember? I know how to get people around here to talk. My apologies, I'm all out of sweets. Though I do have some other tempting snacks in my custody. Fries, fried chicken, and even onion rings. But taking care of junk food is my responsibility. You're better off sticking to your normal, nutritious diet. Now then, let's keep going. Seems like that's all we'll be able to uncover for today.
Paimon feels like we managed to learn a lot more here than up on the surface.
Yes. Assuming that everything we found is indeed connected to our suspect, then their timeline was probably something like this. A month ago, our suspect found a gun and took it home to disassemble it. Once he'd figured out its mechanics, he brought it back. In the following weeks, he used some parts to create his own makeshift musket, and took it to the Fleuve Cendre for target practice. Then, a few days ago. He found his target and carried out the murder. Once the deed was done, he left a rainbow rose on the body, just like the scene in the novel.
That all makes sense to Paimon, but we're still no closer to figuring out the killer's identity.
The deceased was a resident of Fleuve Cendre. It's said that he was a poor, solitary man. Yeah, that's also something I'm trying to figure out. If we are indeed following the novel, and there's a story behind the murder, then this murder should be an act of vengeance. But according to our investigation, the deceased didn't have any enemies. He was no saint, but no one's heard of a rival who hated him enough to shoot him dead, much less care to leave a rose on his body. What message is the killer trying to convey, and to whom exactly? We've thoroughly investigated that possibility. He claims to have spent the whole day at the Opera House on the day of the murder, and the staff there have confirmed his account.
Okay, so he has an alibi.
Not only that, he lacks a credible motive as well. He has a family of his own, and both of his parents are still alive. I've looked into his records. He was adopted at the age of 6, and all the proper procedures were followed. There are also records of him at an orphanage before then. In the story, the mother of the 2 musketeers was murdered after the children turned 10. Of course, he could have changed the children's ages, but I don't want to assume anything without evidence. More importantly, I've also had a chat with him in person. He didn't seem like the kind of person who would pull the trigger to kill a man.
Then, what should we do now? We have all this new information, but it doesn't help us move forward.
Investigations take time. I didn't expect us to catch the culprit in just a single day. How about this? Let's spend the next few days filming with the crew. We can continue the investigation once we're done with the film. I'm sure that given time, new leads will present themselves.
Wait, but weren't you saying Intel is like small, remote islands in the middle of the sea just a moment ago? Wouldn't you just miss them if you were to stop looking?
Ah, but the book had more than one reference to the island.
Oh? What else did it say then?
As long as you spend enough time sailing through the fog, you'll eventually come across an island. What? Never thought that the captain of the security and surveillance patrol could come from the Fleuve Cendre? Honestly, I'm pretty shocked too. There used to be a time when I thought I wouldn't, but as long as you can distinguish yourself through your accomplishments and skills, you'll eventually be recognized for your worth. If you look at it another way, my life at Fleuve Cendre has actually taught me a lot of valuable skills. Skills like how to barter with criminals or how to think in their shoes. Of course, I'd appreciate it if you could keep this a secret between us.
Bom, terminamos aqui o segundo ato aqui da missão aqui da história. Vamos fazer aqui o terceiro. Vamos ver se dá para fazer aqui o terceiro ato. Esse daqui vai estar liberado amanhã. Daqui a 6 horas vai estar liberado. Eu não vou aguentar jogar mais 6 horas do jogo. Vamos fazer aqui o terceiro ato. Aqui eu acho que vai demorar mais umas meia hora, 1 hora desse ato aqui talvez. Se não tiver outra missão aqui que atrapalhe, né? A ilha solitária vislumbrada pela névoa. Eu acho que vai atrapalhar isso daqui, será? Vai pedir para me fazer outra missão? Não sei. Então, mais uma vez, aí peço aí que inscrevam-se no meu canal. Se você não for inscrito, deixe um like, um dislike aí. Comente, compartilhe e ative o sino para receber a notificação. Isso ajuda bastante. Aqui tem alguma coisa? Aproveitar e vasculhar aqui, porque eu não andei aqui nessa área aqui direito ainda. Só fiz aqui algumas missões aleatórias. Bom, acho que não tem mais nada. Vamos passar aqui o tempo aqui para a próxima missão. Passa aqui até 8 horas, né? 8 horas. Daqui 8 horas. 8 horas da manhã. E tá ocupado aqui pela missão, né? O Genshin tem esse problema. Vamos ver que missão é essa aqui que está ocupando aqui. Em companhia especializada. Essa missão aqui. Então vamos para cá. Vou fazer logo essa missão aqui. Deve ser uma missão pequena, talvez. É algo que eu acho que não atrapalhava em nada aqui. Poderia vir aqui e fazer as 2 missões ao mesmo tempo. Mas eles travam a missão da história. É sem sentido isso. Bom, meus amigos, eu vou fazer aqui a missão em companhia especializada. Ali está o número 1 ali, né? Número I, deve ser a primeira parte dessa missão. Talvez tenha uma segunda. Então vamos fazer aqui ela, ver o que acontece aqui. Pelo jeito é só para derrotar uns Zilushu, tá aparecendo ali.
Stand clear. Take flight.
Não deu um golpe em nada nos meus personagens. Que essas pessoas são lá de Liwei. E tá aí, acabamos aqui a missão. Tô falando que não atrapalhava em nada essa história aqui, não atrapalhava em nada o evento. Então Então essa foi a missão. E mais uma vez peço que inscreva-se no meu canal, deixe um like aí, ou dislike, comente, compartilhe e ative o sino para receber notificações, isso ajuda bastante. Agora vamos voltar aqui para o evento, aqui a missão do evento aqui. Cadê? Aqui tá cheio de missão aqui. Tá aqui a ilha solitária vilustrada pela névoa. Vilustrada pela névoa. Não tem nada a ver, ó. O que é que esse local aqui tem a ver com essa missão pra cá? Que coisa. E mais uma vez eu vou desligar aqui meu áudio aí, qualquer coisa podem comentar no chat aí que eu respondo.
Work, everyone! We're looking to wrap with our two main ladies today. I can already smell our success.
What do you mean, looking to wrap? Aren't you the expert now?
This upcoming scene is the two musketeers' final confrontation with the Baron. There will be quite a bit of action, but no choreography beyond what we've already rehearsed. Anyway, get ready. Lights, camera, action!
The view is beautiful tonight. It reminds me of that fateful night 10 years ago. And now that I've said it, I can even make out the faint fragrance of herbal tea in the air.
Enough, villain! It's time that you pay for the death of our mother!
My dear Iris, have you forgotten your manners? How can you speak like this to your own father?
I'd sooner swallow all of my teeth than call you father.
What did I expect? Seems the daughters have turned out to be just as obstinate as their foolish mother. In this world, Mora and status is everything. She thought she could blackmail me using her children and force me to grant her recognition and concessions? Ah, how naive can a woman be?
Mother never asked a single thing of you. All she wished was for us to live a peaceful life, just like the others.
It was you who personally brewed the poison of prejudice and sent Mother to her death. Compared to that deadly poison, the 2 bullets that will soon pierce through your heart will be like sweet mercy.
And that's exactly why I said you're just as naive as her. Did you really think 2 muskets would be enough to defeat me? So let's see. What is stronger? Mora and power, or the 2 muskets in your hands?
Get them!
Tulip! There are too many of them!
It'll be okay. We'll cover each other, Iris. And Mother will be watching over us, too.
Unthinkable! Kamisato art! Sumetsu!
You've lost.
To think I'd lose to my own 2 kids.
We are no children of yours, and we'll never call that place our home.
Then tell me, what did you do all this for? You lost your mother, and will soon kill your father as well. What will you gain in the end, other than sentences for your crimes?
We will gain our long-awaited justice. It's over.
Finally, it's over. So, where will you go now, Tulip?
I'm not too sure, Iris. Maybe somewhere with lots of flowers? After all, Mother always did love going where the blossoms were. What about you?
I want to go visit Mother's grave.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Huh? Tulip, look!
What is it?
It's Mother's favorite, the rainbow rose. Look, it's blooming again.
Excellent! That was beyond mesmerizing. Even I didn't expect the scene to go so well. And we got it in a single take. All right, everyone. We've got a wrap for Tulip and Iris.
Congratulations, Ayaka and Chevrolet!
Thank you. I didn't expect our parts to wrap so quickly. I wish I could savor the experience for just a bit longer.
Paimon totally understands. Paimon's not ready to say goodbye to the clapperboard either. Filming has really been a lot of fun. You were great too, Chevrolet. The way you said, long-awaited justice. It gave Paimon chills.
That is indeed my favorite line in the whole book. I still remember trying to act it out in my room the first few times I read it.
Whoa, Paimon would have never guessed you're that type.
Who doesn't like stories where the guilty are punished and justice prevails over evil? Don't forget, I'm the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
Captain, I have something urgent to report.
Please excuse me, everyone. I'll be back in just a moment.
It's okay, don't worry about us.
Oh? Was she whisked away by work already? I was just about to tell her how great she did.
It seemed like some urgent official business.
Then perhaps we should thank the stars that we were able to wrap both of your parts so quickly today. Switching around the filming schedule would have been a real pain. Anyway, I actually came over to let everyone know that we're all done for today. You can go home and get some rest. And one last thing, Miss Ayaka. Your acting skills today were immaculate as always. Are you sure you won't consider taking up full-time acting? See, I just happen to know this great troupe that's still looking for a lead actress.
Thank you for your kind words, Director Farina. Unfortunately, There are still many matters that I have to take care of back home at the Yashiro Commission. I cannot remain in Fontaine to pursue an acting career. Nevertheless, I will make sure to treasure this incredible opportunity in my heart.
Oh, that's a shame, but I understand. Just let me know if you ever change your mind.
I believe it's also about time for me to take my leave. But hopefully I'll see you on set over the next few days. Even though my part's wrapped, I'd still like to swing by and help out the crew. See you tomorrow, Traveler.
Yep, see you tomorrow! Well, what should we do next? Maybe we'll go investigate the case some more with Shivers today.
Traveler, Paimon, please come with me.
Huh? Where are we going?
You could say that our ship has finally chanced upon one of those small, remote islands of intel.
Paimon's exhausted. Paimon definitely didn't expect having to float this far after a full day of filming. So, Chevres, why did you take us here?
Affirmative. It wasn't anything conclusive, but it should show us a clear way forward. Have you ever heard of someone by the name of Emily?
Oh, you mean that famous perfumer?
She's a good friend of mine. She's lent me her aid several times in the past to resolve some difficult cases. After I discovered the rainbow rose at the scene of the murder, I sent it to her. After all, she's probably the foremost expert on flowers and scents in all of Fontaine.
And then?
There was nothing remarkable about the flower or the trace amounts of soil left on it. But according to Emily, the rainbow rose left by the killer was derived from a very rare cultivar.
Huh. Paimon didn't know that there were different varieties of rainbow rose. Paimon just thought they grew everywhere in the wild.
Flowers that are deliberately cultivated will always show some different features from those that bloom in the wild. We already knew that the rose left at the scene belonged to a special cultivar, but with Emily's expertise, we were able to pinpoint the place where it was first picked from.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. So whoever first planted that rainbow rose was probably the killer.
Precisely. And after we checked what we learned against some sales records from the past, we discovered that there's only one person in all of Fontaine who could grow and sell this specific cultivar.
Really? And who is it?
It's the novelist.
But didn't you say he had an alibi?
To be clear, I haven't changed my mind about him. I still don't think he was the one who pulled the trigger. However, that doesn't mean the true culprit never visited him at his home or never purchased a rainbow rose from his garden. Whatever the case, we will have to confirm a number of things with him.
So you mean the next place we need to go is...
Yes, we're going to pay him a visit at his home. That should be his house.
There are so many Gardamex stationed around the place. That's pretty unusual, right?
According to what he told me last time we spoke, he hired them so he won't be harassed or disturbed.
Huh. So there are a lot of flowers in his garden, but Paimon doesn't think we'll be able to pick one without alerting the Gardamex.
Right, which is exactly why I think there has to be a special connection between him and the killer.
So, should we knock?
Just wait here for now. I'd like to take care of a number of those Gardamex first.
But they're so far away. How are you planning to do that?
Don't forget, Paimon, I'm actually the real-life captain of the Musketeers. All clear. Let's go.
Wait! Paimon's a little nervous now that we know he could be the killer. Can we go over our plan of action again?
I'll go knock on the door and make sure it's safe inside. Once we're sure that we're in the clear, I'll ask him to come with us for a quick round of questioning at the guard's headquarters.
But can't we just arrest him?
We still have no evidence that he's the killer, or that he lent the killer any direct aid. Still, it would be appreciated if you could pick a rainbow rose from his garden for me while I'm talking to him. It'll help the Marashose Phantom confirm Emily's theory.
Sure, no problem. Just be careful, Chevros.
Excuse me, Mr. Baptiste, are you home?
Who could it be at this hour?
Oh, it's you, Officer Chevros.
Would you mind accompanying me to the guard's headquarters, Mr. Baptiste? We would like to ask you some questions about a case.
Oh. Is it still regarding the murder case from before?
I cannot confirm or deny that at this time.
So it is then.
Listen, I need you to come with me, Mr. Baptiste.
Miss Chavras, I'll save you the trouble. Oh, and you two over there? There's no need for you to pick my flowers either. It's not time for them to bloom yet.
Oh! Okay.
By saving me the trouble, you mean...
I will confess. I was the killer.
Huh?
He just admitted he's guilty!
Please relax, everyone. I'm not armed. The musket you're looking for has been buried in my backyard.
Then it's my responsibility to inform you, Mr. Baptiste, that everything you say right now will be used as evidence for the inevitable trial.
Yes, I am perfectly aware of that.
I must say, I hate this feeling.
Oh? Is it because I confessed? Or because you've been proven wrong?
Both, I suppose.
For the same reason as the one I wrote out in my novel, of course. I did it to exact revenge. I know you haven't figured out the link between the two of us. Had you done so, I'd have been taken away to the headquarters a long time ago. But that won't stop me from always remembering his grotesque...
Your mother is still healthy and well.
You know, I was adopted as a child.
That was never recorded in the orphanage's records.
Please forgive a 6-year-old child for concocting some lies to protect himself after watching his
So, your novel, it was like a record of your life?
No, of course not. It was a work of fiction with many embellished parts. But I am indeed the illegitimate son of a wealthy and influential man who abused his power to murder my mother. That part was 100% real.
But the man you killed didn't have a Mora to his name.
He was a hired assassin. An irredeemable beast who sank his fangs into a defenseless woman just for a few bags of Mora.
But if that's really the truth, you wouldn't be telling us any of this now. You still haven't managed to take revenge against your father, the true mastermind behind it all.
I never thought I'd hear that kind of thing from the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
I'm simply skeptical about your motives.
It's simple, really. I've grown tired of everything and don't want to shoulder this burden anymore. You may have considered me too soft to pull the trigger. Well, as it turns out, you are exactly right. I've become overwhelmed by the aftermath of the murder.
So you're going to call a stop to your revenge, just like that?
The true mastermind is too rich and too powerful for me. I've accepted that I will never be able to avenge my mother alone.
And so what? The characters in your book never gave up.
Now, Officer Chavras, I'm the one who has killed a man, aren't I? Are you trying to convince me to commit another crime?
What's your father's name? How do you plan to prove the veracity of all of your claims?
Well, I'd like to speak with you privately.
Sure. Why don't we speak privately at the guard's headquarters?
No, it has to be here. I must ensure that we won't be overheard.
Fine. Let's talk here.
When I said won't be overheard, I meant by anyone. I would like to speak with you and you alone.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Please stay safe, Chevres.
All right. Let's hear it.
Will you really believe what I'm about to say?
Well, that depends on what you're going to tell me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Then listen closely.
So that's how it's all connected.
So, it seems you believe me after all.
Do you want me to go public with this?
No, of course not. At least, not right now.
Then why did you bother telling me?
You've read my work. What do you think? Even if you were to go public with all of this right now, he'd simply deny everything. It's been too long. Almost 20 years. Anything that could be used as evidence has long faded away. Even if there might have been a solitary island of truth once upon a time, it has long sunk beneath the waves by now. Justice will never find him.
Not if you don't try.
I know that as the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, you will always stand on the side of justice. But do you really think a cushy life in prison really constitutes justice for him? I bet he could lead an extremely comfortable life in the fortress of Meripede.
What are you trying to say?
I've been observing you from a distance. Your portrayal of the musketeer was exquisite. Pull the trigger of justice against him. Let the villain get what he deserves.
You want me to let you go so you may complete your revenge?
No, Officer Chavras. I know that would be impossible. No. What I'd like is for you to perform the deed on my behalf.
Oh, Chavras sure is taking her time. What could they be talking about anyway? Oh, Paimon's worried. What if he decided to attack her? Oh, you do have a point. Still, do you have any idea who the rich person might be? And why the novelist doesn't want us to hear what he's saying to Chavras?
Sorry to keep you waiting, you two.
Hey, how did your talk go?
I've already sent someone to escort Baptiste back to the headquarters for questioning. He wasn't lying about the musket. It was indeed buried in his backyard.
But what about the name? Did he tell you the name of the rich guy?
Yes, he did. But for now, I have to return to the Special Patrol. There are still a few loose ends I need to tie up. I'll probably be quite busy over the next few days, so apologies if you don't see me on set.
All right, Paimon understands if you can't tell us everything you know. We'll just keep an eye on the Steambird then.
Actually, there's still something else I need your help with.
Bom, amigos, terminamos aqui a história aqui do evento, aqui a parte 3, né? Aqui terminamos a parte 3. A parte 5, a parte 5 na parte 4 vai estar liberada daqui a 5 horas. E a última parte vai estar liberada daqui a 2 dias. E temos aqui as missões, né? Os joguinhos, os jogos. Depois eu vou fazer, são 4 jogos. E depois eu vou fazer, quando terminar aqui a quarta história, eu vou fazer os jogos. Ele começa a fazer os jogos. E é isso, eu vou ficando por aqui, já está com mais de 3 horas de live. Com certeza eu vou ter que fazer outras missões aí para liberar essa história aí. E é isso. Mais uma vez aí peço aí que para quem não for inscrito aí no canal, inscreva-se, deixe um like aí, um dislike se não gostou de alguma coisa, comentem, compartilhe aí e ative o sino para receber notificações. E até a próxima live. E mais uma vez, um obrigado a todos. Eu vou fazer aqui, gastar aqui as gemas, as 160 gemas ali, eu vou fazer em offline. E é isso. Até.